Hello, everybody. Welcome to the weekly collective reading. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. It's great to see you. I am back at home. It's good to be back. It has been about, 5 weeks of traveling. So, just really nice to not be on the road. Some of you are asking about my return trip. It was definitely a little bit challenging. There were 3 trip interruptions due to inclement weather. So it took me an extra day to get home. And then in the process, I also got like a little bit of a sore throat, and I'm just happy to be back. So I hope all of you are doing well. It's my honor and pleasure to be here. Again, I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. This is the Weekly Collective. This is a chance for us all to get together to take a look at what's coming through in this week ahead and basically leave the reading feeling empowered and ready. And Apollo is behind me, so let's check in on my sweet little dog. He's taking a nap. Also, he's very sick of the traveling. So anyway, we're both very happy to be here, to be home, and to be with you. So I always like to begin my readings with channeled messages. Today is no exception. And as I was tuning into your sign this morning, to everybody rather, there was a couple of things that came through. One of them was just kind of like clearing off the windshield. So it's almost as if there's been it's like our own projections getting in the way. That's kind of the way Spirit showed me. But it's like when you look at a windshield on a car and it's hard to see through it. So for some of us, this could be, expectations that things have to show up in a certain way at a certain time. And it is also reminding me of that little thing that's printed on, at least in the US, there's the driver's side mirror has distortions on it. And it says basically objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. So sometimes things seem like they're way off in the distance, but in fact, they're much, much closer. And sometimes we think something is bigger than it is. So just taking a step back, clearing out your misperceptions or misconceptions, and maybe kind of like taking something and de-escalating it. That's the first thing that comes through. I just finished up the Pisces reading yesterday because I'm going backwards. And the symbol that came through for Pisces was a cricket. But I'm also getting that energy for everybody today of being able to leap into something new or step into something new. So I'm hoping that today, as we're looking at the 7-day forecast in particular, we can see where a new clean slate might be possible for some of you. Okay? All right, so without any further delay, let's get started. As I mentioned, we're going to get into a 7-day forecast. This part of the reading is for everybody that's present, so just sit back, relax, and let's begin. All right, let me zoom in a bit. There we go. Very interesting because this is what came through for today, also in the reverse position. All right. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There we go. And no, the reading isn't posted yet. For those that are asking, it will be later. And just as a quick heads up, as I'm getting everything set up, because I've actually been sick all week. So I'm trying to get caught up, but I had to last night go out and get some cough suppressant because I was coughing. So no, it'll be posted after this reading. And then I'm going to try my best to do like maybe 2 a day, health permitting. I'll do what I can. I really do need to get caught up, but it's been an interesting couple of months here, and there's going to be some more changes as we move forward because I want to get a little bit further away from some of the pollution. So there may be a relocation in the coming months as I look at getting into a safer space. So just be patient with me. I'm trying to prioritize health. So thank you. All right, let's start off with the energy of today, Sunday. We have the 4 of Wands in reverse. I talked about this a little bit earlier. And, if you take a look at the daily card, the message that came through was to focus on giving people time, space, and breathing room in particular is the way that I put that. And what I meant by that this morning is, a lot of times when we want something, when we really want to have a persuasive conversation, we can come on strong. Give people room to come to you and to see your value. So that part definitely connects to this as well. Now, when we have a Four of Wands in reverse, it can also represent a need, desire, or willingness to bring people into our life, but they're not there yet. And there's this feeling like, well, I've done everything that I should. Why aren't they here? When we are a little bit more discerning and picky, and this, by the way, doesn't have to just be love interests. This can be friends, business colleagues, any sort of connection that you're looking for, including a teacher. When you're very specific on what it is that you want to call in, then sometimes it takes a minute or two for the universe to align the synchronicities. Keep working on yourself and keep connecting with other people in your life that constitute Four of Wands energy. So existing friendships, family, cousins, connections that you already have. As you work to heal and develop those relationships, and as you work on yourself, you're going to be better prepared and also better able to call in the right level of energy that you're seeking. So it's on the way, but not yet. And so a little bit of patience is really key here too. And we aren't that different as adults from the time that we were children, where it's like, when is it happening? When are we there? Are we there yet? You're close. That's basically what I keep getting. And it's really synchronistic that we had the Four of Wands for both the daily read and now aligning to this weekly check-in. Okay? Taking a look here at the energy of Monday, we have the Knight of Wands in the reverse state. So an upright Knight of Wands moves forward with an idea, is focused on development. It's kind of like a light bulb that's going off. When it's reverse, it's basically taking a moment to pause and say, how do I feel about this? Have I looked at all of the alternatives? It's an inquisitive card, and it's inquisitive on thought process, direction, understanding. Also, if somebody's communicating to you, you could ask a question. Say, wow, I hadn't thought about that. Tell me more. Or, hey, I'm not sure if we're on the same page. Can we make sure that, you can ask me some questions, I'll ask you questions. Clearing the air. So this is kind of like clearing the windshields from all of the stuff that we bring into situations. So whether the other person's bringing in the cobwebs and the grime, or you are, this is a chance to clear that sort of energy between the two of you. The most important thing with Knight of Wands is don't doubt yourself. In other words, trust your intuition, to speak in more affirmative terms. And sometimes we can think ourselves into a rabbit hole. So it's good to be curious. It's good to check communication. But when it comes to your own gut, your own instincts, do trust those for sure. The other thing here is, for some of you, there is a reminder that inspiration begins within. So we often wait and wish and want for others to light the path. And in this particular illustration, the knight is holding the torch. So it may be your turn or your opportunity to step into that sort of like leadership voice or vision or role if you're ready. So Monday is a chance to review, but not to overthink things, in short. Okay? Let's take a look at what's coming through on Tuesday. We have the Three of Cups, but the card was reversed. So there may be invitations for some of you to hang out, to socialize, and to network. Take some time, take care of yourself as needed, of course, but even if it's a little uncomfortable, there could be something that could be beneficial from these networking events. So this is also about coming out of your shell a bit and allowing yourself to be out there, to be seen. What we want to avoid on Tuesday is gossip and excluding people. So we want to be more inclusive. There may be someone who is trying to get your attention, who wants to be a part of the group. So this is an encouragement to allow all voices to be seen and heard, to be more inclusive. And if there is anybody that is in a clique or is gossiping, avoid that. That stuff has a way of getting around energetically, and you really don't want to be party to that. So be mindful of that. Avoid gossip. Also, avoid going to an excess, whether it's overworking, partying too much, hermiting too much. We want to avoid excess. Things look fantastic at the midweek. We have the Wheel of Fortune coming forth. This is a great day for change and for movement. And with the wheel in the upright position, we're starting to see things move in the direction that you want, that you've been waiting for. The other thing that I'm getting with this is a day to really speak to your value, your worth, what it is you're ready for. And the other thing here is knowing that cyclical changes take time to both create and settle into. So if you're going through a first day, a first meeting, an interview, first date even, whatever the first is, it could be the beginning of something amazing, however, the initial connection could be a little bit rocky. That's okay. That's okay, because change is always a little bit discombobulating at the beginning, but I really do feel the midweek is bringing changes for the better. If you feel like there's something lacking in your life, the Wheel of Fortune reminds you to speak up and create the change or movement that you need. Wednesday's a great day to begin something new. Wednesday's also a great day to clean up things. We were talking about that with the channeled messages, cleaning up finances. You could also be looking at your schedule and making sure that there is energetic return on all the work that you're doing, okay? Now let's take a look at Thursday. I love that we have Six of Wands energy. The reverse of this is reminding you that success is subjective. So for each of us, there's a different definition for what we think of as successful. Success is not something that you need to try to do for others. And it's a recalibration, because I feel like you're on the road to success, but sometimes there's this feeling of, how do I measure up? Will this make such and such happy? Your mom, your boss, whoever it is you're competing against, right? Sometimes as you're entering into something new and successful, there is a little bit of like loneliness at the beginning. So I mentioned that the wheel can be a little bit bumpy. If you're on the leading edge or bleeding edge of success, sometimes nobody around you understands or gets it. Keep following your intuition this week, and keep working hard. It is the quality of the ideas, of the work, also just your consistent leadership behavior that is going to pay off in the long run. You may not get the immediate gratification that you need and or deserve, but fear not, you're actually working in the right direction, okay? Lead by example. There may be people in your life that are incapable or uncomfortable with leadership, and so in this moment, you're being encouraged and asked to basically just lead the charge. So trust again that you have the capacity to do that, especially when, or even when, other people haven't kind of been able to do the same, okay? All right, loving what we see at the end of the week. This is one of the most powerful cards when it comes to leadership, boss energy, Queen of Wands. She's second only to Emperor or Empress energy, so that's quite good. I also love that we have the black cat. Usually the black cat is in front, but with it being right there on her shoulders, this is about absolutely tuning into your intuition and knowing that whatever challenge comes your way, you have the capacity and the wherewithal to land on your feet. Also, even if you've experienced some setbacks, some losses, the cat has 9 lives. So this is one of those lives. You have a chance to take people by surprise and do something unexpected. Queen of Wands is intuitive. She thinks outside of the box, and she surprises people. So don't do what's expected. Do what feels right. Do what you're called to do. And in doing so, this is what's going to lead you to be successful. Taking a look at the weekend, next Saturday, we have Page of Pentacles in reverse. So it's a chance to ask, I need this, I want this, or this is missing, and possibly giving people a way to solve the problem. That's actually the big takeaway here, is come to a conversation with a solution. I have an idea. I have a solution. Would you like to hear? I think it's so much more powerful not to color the idea, simply to say, I have a thought. This is especially true for those of you that may be not as comfortable with negotiating or presenting your ideas. Just state it almost as a fact. As you get more practice, and more experience, you can actually start to say, I have an exciting idea. I have something unexpected, but it might be exactly what you need. Then people are going to see value in it. But the trick here is, on Saturday, you have to feel and see the value first. So if you see something that's lacking and you want it and you feel like you deserve it, you have a good chance of getting it. But if you don't feel like you deserve it, it's going to be a hard sell. So I feel like the first and most important thing on Saturday is to focus on believing in yourself and advocating for yourself. And that's the big takeaway here. There might be something that's lacking, and this is a day to recalibrate that. There are also maybe a lot of people that are reaching to you to get time, energy, money, or support. And just as I've been rationing my resources, you can probably even hear it in my voice. There is only a finite amount of how much you can give, and sometimes you just have to say, enough is enough, okay? So know your limits and don't overdo it. What we see coming through 1 week from today is fantastic. So I'm happy to see High Priestess energy coming forth. Whatever it is you're trying to create, you have a good chance of doing it. I love that there's a dragon in this High Priestess. So this is a chance to forge something new. Definitely I'm getting creative manifestation energy in this, not just seeing the solution, not just intuitive development, but there's something creative, groundbreaking, or sort of like, it's almost like earth-shattering, something really great that you can do 1 week from today. But it's important to focus on some of the things that we just talked about. So let's review it. Let's see where the challenges and the opportunities are in this week ahead. So here's what I'm seeing for you. I think the biggest power days for you are Wednesday and, well, actually there are 3. Wednesday, Friday, and of course Sunday. On Wednesday, cyclical shift. Resources starting to turn in your favor. On Friday, you're starting to find your voice. You're starting to believe in yourself. You may also be coming up with some new ideas. And Queen of Wands is just about being able to articulate those and stand up for them. And then we start to see it all coming together a week from today. The challenges this week really surround, being patient, giving people space to come to you, not second-guessing yourself, in other words, trusting your instincts, avoiding clicks, and again, asking for what it is that you want, but knowing that in order to get it, you have to feel the worth and the value. So one of the things that you can do to really help create that shift is to, I know it may seem archaic, but making a list. You can do it on your phone. You don't have to write it out. But think of all the value you're adding to a relationship, to a job, to a situation. Use those as talking points and say, or at least have them in your head so that you can bring them to the conversation if needed. This is going to help somebody see just how valuable you are, because I can see it. I hope you can too. All right. I'm so happy to have different cards to work with. I missed them, and I'm sure many of you did as well. Let's see. While I'm here, let me go ahead and see if I have any memberships left to gift. I feel like this would be a great time to do it because we're almost at the end of this month. So for everybody that showed up today, I think I have 5 more memberships. Let me see if I can gift them. There we go. Thanks for showing up. I see you, I value you, and I appreciate you. All right, let's get into the elemental forecast today. And this is basically helping us get just a little bit clearer on fire, earth, air, and water. Otherwise, everything that you see here is for all that are present. Okay. Let me select a deck and continue. Fire, earth, air, and water. All right, let's talk. We're going to start off with Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, all of my fire signs. Work smarter, not harder. So we have the 7 of Wands here, which is a card that comes right on the heels of 6 of Wands success, and we actually got the 6 of Wands this week, so this is tracking. When you are successful, Oftentimes, more often than not, people scrutinize you a little bit more. Everybody thinks that they can do better. Everybody has feedback. You do not have to integrate everything. Take some of it with a grain of salt. You're not going to make everybody happy, especially if you're doing something well. So take a step back and say, I can see the value in this, or this doesn't resonate. Work harder, not smarter. Don't feel like you have to say yes to everybody. There's a time and a place for certain things, and you can just push back and say, no, not now or not yet. There's different ways of pushing back. And that is what we basically see him doing here, is saying, this isn't right, or I don't need this, or simply no. If you are taking on something new, whether it's deciding to push yourself in a direction, in education, maybe you're working on physical fitness or something of that nature, easy does it this week. You do not want to overextend yourself, okay? And then ultimately, we see you right on the heels of sending something into motion. So basically, the sevens represent tension between successful cards. So 6 of Wands is success, 8 of Wands is momentum, and the tension comes in boundaries and where to say no. So I'm acknowledging and normalizing that there's some tension this week, but it's tension that is allowing you to get to the next level. So as you start to hold your ground and say no, you're going to be better able to get into that expansive energy. So I think it's going to be a breakthrough week for you, but it's always hard to say no. Don't be afraid to do it. And don't take too much, don't put too much stock in criticism. There needs to be a constructive element. There isn't always one. So you've got what it takes this week. You have a fiery card coming through, and don't be afraid to be bold, okay? Good energy for fire. Fire with fire. All right, let's move on to Earth. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. The hardest thing is patience. So we have the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is reversed, and it's really this feeling of wanting to just rush to the next thing. So I mentioned jumping. Don't leap just yet. A Hanged Man looks at things from a new perspective. I like that this particular Hanged Man is figuring out how to free themselves. So sometimes we create, like 8 of Swords is a prison of thought. Sometimes the Hanged Man can be all of the things that we've done in our life that kind of create tension or limit our traction. And so there may be an opportunity for many of you to simply say, this isn't worth the energetic investment. So it's kind of like a car. If there's too much friction, you have to kind of find a different path. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to move forward. So really focus on where the ease, where the opening is, and if there's too much friction, it isn't worth it. If you feel this sense of, I can't do it, remember Queen of Wands is the impossible boss. She comes through with the solution. She's like, you know what? I can figure a way through this. There is a way through this, but it's important for you to think of something that you haven't tried before. So make the impossible possible. And this week, that only comes through taking a break, taking a pause, and seeing it from another perspective, okay? So things are going a little slower than you'd like this week, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, but you're going to exit the week with this feeling of clarity, like we saw with the High Priestess, and it's like, oh, that's why that's why there was a pause. It was so I would meet this person or see this thing or have more energy to go down this path, okay? So something is embarking or opening up for you, which is good. All right, let's move on to air signs. Decisive energy. So of course, this can represent the Libras out there, but for all of the air signs, this is saying, I want this. I'm deciding, I'm choosing to do this. And that is what justice does. She makes a decision and she shares the decision. Judgment is the aftermath, but justice, at the beginning of the week, you may be weighing the scales. We talked about some things to do to help you with that. So one of them was to make sure that you understand the other person. Is this what you meant? Is this what you want? Are we on the same page? Another thing to help you kind of clear things out is to talk to other people. Avoiding gossip, but just kind of tuning in. What do you think? You know, that kind of stuff will help you figure it out. But at the end of the day, it's your choice and your choice alone. And it is so hard. This is one of the hardest parts about being an adult, is we don't have somebody there saying, don't do this or do this. We have to choose. But you can and you will choose correctly. Just slow down, weigh the options, and then know that that's the best that you can do at that point, and that's all you can ask of yourself. Many of you are also seeking out better balance in your life. So choosing something that brings a sense of fulfillment, of happiness, whatever is lacking in your life, advocating for more of that right now, okay? And then the other thing here is, don't be afraid to fight for what matters most. Justice is about doing the right thing and advocating for who you are and what you deserve, okay? Let's move on to the water signs. So a lovely synchronicity here with Queen of Wands. She's coming through reversed. So Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. This is really about finding a situation where you know it's important to be stubborn. And I very rarely encourage or support that, but there is a time and a place where you simply fight for it and say, this is what I want. This is why I want it. And when you're ready, let's talk. So I do feel like there's an opportunity to be bold right now. Make sure that you are opening yourself up to see things from, again, this is a common thread this week, different perspectives, other points of view, and that you're not missing a potential road that might be in front of you. One thing that I like that they put on this card is the sunflower, which is heliotropic, which follows the lead. So the question as we're looking at this card is, are you leading or following? People are ready to follow you, but you may be wishing that you could just follow someone else. So there is this big energy of kind of stepping into being an adult this week. I get it. It's not easy. It's not fun, but in a different way here, it's really important. So a common theme this week that I believe all of you have what it takes. There's just a little bit of inner confidence building that may be necessary. So take a deep breath, take it one step at a time, and know that you can do this. All right. Now we're going to get into the special topic, which I don't think I identified yet, but it's basically whatever you need to know. And this is allowing for pure mediumship to come through. I appreciate that because it basically lets the cards and my third eye kind of go wherever we need to. So thank you for that. All right, I already have the deck that I want here. Let me go ahead and turn the camera down and clear up everything so we can get started. All right, I'm going to take a drink here. Be right back. All right. Hopefully my voice will hold out. I'm definitely losing it a bit, so I'm going to pace myself and bring the mic closer. And this is why it's taking me longer because, my voice is leaving me. All right, so let's close our eyes for a moment. See yourself surrounded in a circle of light. Imagine that you're watching the sun rising. And in this moment, call in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters. I'm just going to speak a little bit more ASMR, so I'll have my voice with me. All right. Again, we're asking to basically receive whatever it is that you need to know. Whether or not you want to know it, it's whatever needs to come through. I am sick, everybody, but I show up always for you. My sore throat is gone. I just have congestion now, and basically my voice is not as strong as it normally is. But unless there are extraordinary circumstances, I always show up for the weekly collective. Yeah, we're just gonna, if I speak like this, I'll be fine. I can't project as much as I normally do. What happened is one of my relatives didn't tell me they were sick when I visited them because they wanted to see me, but they got me sick. It's hard to be mad at them, but I'm like, you really should have told me. Because people like me that if you own your own business, you don't get sick days, right? But you can't really get upset at family. All right, so I'll just bring this a little bit closer and speak a little bit quieter. All right, so do we have 2 cards? We do have 2 cards here. All right, so for your catalyst, as we're looking at this, we have the Sword and we have the Village. The Sword is really important. This is basically like an Ace of Pentacles. This is an opportunity for you to basically come forward and express your idea. And for some of you, just like me, finding your voice can be difficult. It doesn't matter how loud you speak. It doesn't matter how often you speak. It's really about, we talked about this earlier, not coloring something too much. Simply saying, I feel very, I have a great idea or I have an idea. Just putting it out there. I definitely think it's important to speak up. This is also a call to action. And so in this particular period, it's important for you to just take that first step, okay? It takes a village. You don't have to do this alone. So the village represents support. Think of this, if you will, as either the 10 of Pentacles or perhaps the 10 of Cups. So if you need or you want support, reach out and ask for that support so you don't feel like you're on this all alone, right? The other thing here is, if you feel this pressure, like from family, from other people, remember at the end of your days on this planet, it's really you looking at your own life and saying, how did I do? Did I do okay? And as long as you feel good about that, that's the only boss that you have to answer to, okay? So don't put so much pressure on yourself. Really focus on understanding that the only sort of critic, the worst critic often, is the one here and here. So be kind to yourself, okay? I'm not doing ASMR on purpose, but I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. I have no choice. I won't be able to make it through if I don't take it easy. And we're going to do a briefer version of the expanded forecast because I can only give so much today. All right, the 10 of Pentacles at the center. So what you need to know is that there are more resources available than you may think. The hardest part is just asking. So oftentimes we just keep giving and giving and giving until there's nothing left to give. I would love for you this week to ask for help and to receive it a little bit more willingly than perhaps you've done in the past. There are people there that want to support you. So allow them to support you, okay? Intelligence. When I look at an elephant, I think of intelligence and overcoming obstacles. So the village part of this comes through. You don't have to answer all the questions and solve all the problems. Allow others to step up and help you. Call on them to do the job or the role or whatever it is that they've offered to do, because you don't have to be alone in this. Once more, we're getting an action card. So we have 2 aces, 2 ace of swords, a thought, an idea, a communication, and the answer, call and answer for sure. You may also be finding that you're putting things to paper, signing on the dotted line. And this is a perfect time to articulate and to basically get these things in writing, okay? Someone's asking what ASMR means. I don't remember all the words, but it's basically speaking very softly in a microphone. You see people crumpling paper and doing all that, so I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm actually going to get a cough drop while I do this, and then we're going to talk about the deep past. Okay, that helps a little bit. We have another ace here in the deep past, the Ace of Cups. So opening yourself up to receive is often the hardest part, right? And so in this moment, saying yes, thank you. If someone comes and says, can I help you out? Would you like this? Yes, thank you. That would be great. Really focusing on the worthy piece of this. So I am ready and I am worthy to receive all of this or greater. Really being open and receptive. Some of you have also done the inner work on loving and accepting yourself. It is the hardest part because so often we are our own worst critic. So in this moment, realize nobody's paying as much attention to your flaws as you are. Be kinder to yourself, okay? We have more High Priestess energy coming forth. I mentioned about a week from today, next Sunday, this card appeared. I really want you to pay attention this week to your dreams, to whatever ideas are coming forth, and know that you're being guided. You're being guided on the right path and also away from things that don't sound or feel right for you. It's when we don't listen to that common sense, to that intuition, that often things happen. There's something that doesn't want to fully reveal itself just yet, but I also feel like when it comes forth, there's not going to be a big surprise. So open yourself up to have something really positive come forth, and when it does, think to yourself, I worked for this. I'm surprised, but I'm not really surprised. Maybe the only surprise is that it took so long for it to come through. Make time this week to meditate. For those of you that are creative, this is a perfect week to put more time and energy into that creativity, okay? So we have 1, 2, 3 aces, and we have a repeat of the Ace of Swords. It's a really powerful week, folks. So passion, action, and opportunity. Basically, if we look at that one more time, the deep past presenting, and now where your head's at. Don't be afraid to be the one that says, I want this, I'm ready. Also, it's really good to give a compliment, just as nice as it is to receive one. Thank you for what you bring to the table. Thank you for your hard work. Also, don't qualify a compliment. So an example of a qualification would be, you look good today. What does that mean? You regularly don't look good? Just say, you did a great job. You look great. Try not to put looks in it anyway. I just use that as an example. Instead of saying today, now, or whatever, just say, well done. This way, you are lifting someone up without kind of having a backhanded compliment, having some sort of criticism with the compliment. Just say something nice or don't say it. You also might be training someone on how to, modeling is a better word, modeling behavior that is beneficial. So when you are giving a helping hand, when you are lending resources, when you're giving positive critiques, you show that this is the way that things are done, and people start to learn from that. So you might be modeling behavior. By the way, an opportunity could come forth. This is just about you saying, I'm ready. Because this could be requesting it, communication and action, call and answer. This is receiving it. There may be even more that's coming through that you are ready and willing to receive. So really be open for a couple of opportunities to come forth this week, okay? This is something I'm going to do after the reading today. Rest and take care of yourself. 4 of Swords is about slowing down. Even though I have a lot of work to do this week, I've got to slow down. You can tell there's nothing more that I can do. If I don't produce, it's normally because of something like this. Don't get to this point. Basically, take a break, rest. Understand that when you rest, you also receive guidance. Guidance from angels, your higher self, spirit guides. So for those of you where the hanged man energy came forth, slowing down doesn't mean stopping. It means recalibrating. It means mapping things out. It means filling up the tank so that down the road you'll have plenty of time to catch up, right? Some of you are having a hard time when you try to meditate or rest to do so. The reason I'm saying that, if you look closely, her eye is wide open there. Meditation isn't always about going to a complete state of Zen. Sometimes it's just about emptying out what's here. So the thoughts that come through are valuable. Eventually you can get to a place where the mind is quiet, but it may not happen immediately, and that's okay. When you first slow down, it may be challenging because you are thinking, if I could only do this, or I wish I was doing that. You're doing exactly what you should be doing right here and right now, okay? Rest is productive. I mentioned earlier I was going to look for the clean slate, for the opportunity for something new. So the Fool is coming through and it's saying, whenever you're ready. The first step is often the hardest one to take, but once you've done it, everything else starts to follow through. So whenever you're ready, take that step and know that each day, if you just take a small step in that direction, something amazing can happen. As I'm focusing on this card, one of the things that's coming through is I feel like some of you were either bored or disinterested in something that was going on. And as you start to look at new things in your life, try to find activities that bring out a playful nature, allow you to step into something unexpected or new. Okay. In the environment, we have the Five of Wands. For many of you, there is an understanding that in order to get to the next thing, the next level, there has to be more collaboration from others. You can't do this all on your own. So in work situations, in relationships, make sure that everyone else is pulling their fair share. And if there's any areas where there is duplicative energy, again, there's a lot of leadership opportunities that are knocking. Make sure that you step up and say, you know what? I think there might be a better way to do this. What if we try this? So leading the team, trying to find areas where you can save some time, and you're looking at how you can all benefit from this as well. Okay? All right, so we have two queens here, which is great. Representing aspects of your own personality. This is creativity and this is innovation. This is sensitivity. This is stepping into leadership. This could be new love. This could be new partnership. Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces possibly coming into your life. This is also saying whatever it is that you were trying to create, there could be even more. Sometimes we limit what's possible. You know, if I was in a negotiation now versus like when I was younger, and someone asked, what is your salary requirements? I would look at it from a different perspective. I would say I've done my research. I know what I'm worth. What do you think I'm worth? Let's not play this game. I know what I'm worth. So I would actually not limit myself, or if they push me for a number, I would go higher because I don't want to limit what's possible. And that was advice I wish I got as a kid. Don't undersell or undercut your worth. People will always let you give less, or they will let you give more but give you less, in other words. So always ask for a little bit more, or open up to receive a little bit more, because if you can't do it, and if you don't do it, they certainly aren't going to, because everybody wants to save some money. So don't limit yourself. That's what I'm getting. There's so much more room to receive that wants to basically come forth. This is also true in love and opportunity. You could be happier, you could be more abundant, there could be more than you expect or imagine. I'm also looking, it's not even in the cards, but it's coming through intuitively. If there's someone in your life where you think to yourself, how did they get all of that? Why don't I have it? Get really inspired right now, because I see 2 or 3 opportunities knocking. And if you do the internal work on yourself, I feel like you can accomplish what they did or greater. This is how you transmute jealousy into something really amazing, to work on yourself. So rather than fixating on what others are doing, really put the lens inward and say, they did it. How can I do it? Because you can. There's a couple of different ways, and you don't need to rinse and repeat. You can be your own version of yourself, right? If love comes through this week, and it could, or friendship, it's pretty nice, actually. Queen of Wands, Queen of Cups are very compatible. Sensitive, creative, intuitive, passionate, clear, definitely clear on the vision, and together these two are very harmonious. So there could be a nice partnership coming forth this week. I do feel like there's a general change in your mood, and things are starting to, it's almost like a light bulb is turned on. So where things were once dark, we're starting to see clarity, we're starting to see a path, and it happens because of all of the inner work. There's been a lot of internal recalibration this week. I'm ready, I'm worthy, I'm not going to waste or spend my time in these sort of activities where they're not returning on it, and I'm going to focus on creation. I will make this work. I can land on my feet. I am worthy. Those mantras start to open you up to these new opportunities that are knocking. Let's expand this as much as my voice will allow me to. And let's take a look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to start off with health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. We have Ul coming in here with focus. For some of you, being able to concentrate is potentially the most difficult thing. That can often be solved by changing your environment. So if you're a student, for instance, and it's really loud in the dorm, it might be going to a library. If you're in a family situation and there's too much noise going on, you might just be going to your room and kind of putting on your noise-canceling headphones. We need a little bit of space in order to open up the mental channels and to get clear on what it is that you want. Focus is also like the Magician card, where just because all of these things are in front of you, it doesn't mean that you have to do everything at once. Being very mindful of where we can make the biggest impact, and we're going to focus on that, okay? So limiting distractions, picking the one thing where you can make the biggest splash, allowing that to be your focal point, letting the other stuff go. Okay. Again, the hardest for most of us, myself included, make sure you're getting the quality and the quantity of rest that you require. I also feel like some of you are pulled in too many directions. So we see money or opportunity. We see love and relationships. We also see activities, and they're pulling you in 3 directions. There's almost a choice that has to be made this week. We didn't get the 2 of Pentacles, but we may as well have because there's so much going on that your discernment is important. Be discerning. One step at a time. Anything worth doing is worth doing well and not rushing. There's a lot of sensitivity this week. There's a lot of ideas. You may need some help in kind of like figuring out how to deal or process all of those. Deal with or process all of those. Ultimately, though, aside from the focus message, these are good cards. So I feel like it's a good week ahead. Rest and take care of yourself. Don't waste your time on people, places, and things that don't return on that. Slow down and focus. Those are the takeaways. Let's move on. We're going to look at wealth. Lord Shiva, transcendence. Rise up, honor your inner force. Steps are being given. Dance with the universe. Creation is a dance. Sometimes you lead and you wait for feedback. Sometimes you have to create your own choreography. It hasn't been done before. Like rehearsing, things are messy at first, but they get better. As I kind of go through all of these things, one of the encouragements is to be patient with yourself and don't be a perfectionist. I know it's easier said than done, but it's really important not to be a perfectionist, okay? I think I can pull one card for each of the categories, but I'm just going to go with the first thing that I see when I do it because I have a limited amount of speaking time today. Okay. We're going to look at those of you that are employed. Then we're going to look at those of you who are entrepreneurs. We'll look at job seekers. Then we'll focus on students and then retirees. Okay. First and foremost, if you have a job, you're doing all right here. The Queen of Pentacles is kind of in her own world. I feel like you can get a lot of work done on your own. The focus energy that came through earlier is a part of this as well. So wherever you can feel that sense of, okay, I am focused, I can continue to do this, that's great. Know when enough is enough and then let it go. Power in numbers. It takes a village, and there's enough going on that I feel like delegation is really important. So creativity, finances and resources, communication, you don't have to do all of them. I'm not looking at entrepreneurs. It feels like there's duplicative energy here. So the biggest opportunity is in teamwork and delegation. We have almost too many bosses, right? Queen of Wands, Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles. And interestingly enough, they almost perfectly align to the aces. So just make sure that people kind of stay in their swim lanes and that you're not trying to step on each other's toes. There's a lot of creative energy and a lot of clarity that's coming forth, so just lean into that and trust it, okay? Let's move on to those that are entrepreneurs. Five of Swords. There could be an unhappy client, customer, or review that you're trying to deal with. What we want to do is elevate the conversation. I'll give you a real life example of the opposite of that. So when I was coming back from the East Coast, 3 trip interruptions. The first one was a cancellation, and I was 12 hours delayed. The second one was a major delay that led to me missing my flight. There was also delays in my luggage being found and all this other stuff. So when I was going to the gate, I just said, oh my gosh, there's been a lot going on. And I kind of walked through all of that. And she said, you know what? You're really negative. Next customer. I almost lost it. And I just looked to the other guy and he's like, I'll help you out. What he did was de-escalate a situation. What I did was not fight fire with fire. I was just like, I've had a really bad day. She said, stop talking. I don't want to talk to you. I'm like, oh my God. I didn't have the time or energy to fight, and it wasn't going to help. She didn't care. And so that isn't the way to deal with it. What you can do is say, I can't help you with what happened, but I can help you with the next leg of the journey. I'm here. I'm your advocate. Let's focus. So that's a way to de-escalate and redirect. Also, what I did is also important. Don't fight fire with fire. Just say, okay, I just need some help. Who can help me? If you don't want to help me, can you? That way, just being reasonable is key. Sometimes customer service fails. Sometimes the customer fails. But one of the sides has to pick up the slack and de-escalate and just say, I can't help you with what happened, but I can help you with what's next. So in customer service, I think that's the best thing that you can do, is just be there and empathize. So if you can be there and empathize, that will help quite a bit. I got home. I was safe. Things were all right. I flew out of, interestingly enough, Minneapolis, and there was another plane that ended up topsided. So at the end of the day, I count my lucky stars because, you know, I got home in one piece, and the plane got home in one piece. But, you know, there's a time and place for empathy, and I think that person had a bad day, and I was having a bad day. And you get two people that have a bad day, and it's not good. So pull yourself out of that situation. That's what I did. Find a better connection. And so that's just giving you, from the customer side and from the business side, there's a way to de-escalate. So try to de-escalate, because Five of Swords is escalation. What happens is there's someone who is just complaining without listening or turning off the empathy portion of their brain and just being sharp. So it's difficult to redirect mentally, but in your mind, think, this isn't going anywhere. It's not worth it. You have to cut losses with the Five of Swords. So cut your losses and focus on something else. Six of Swords is progress and movement. And so what you can say is, how do we move forward? That's a great question. I hear what you're saying. What can we do to make this better? That would also have been a great question, right? So any of these things will help if you're dealing with a tricky customer service situation. Listening more than speaking is also really good. And then just saying, are you ready? I'll help you. You don't even have to acknowledge some of the stuff. Just say, I hear you. I hear you is really good. Not in a condescending way, but just saying, I'm taking this down. I'm listening. Let me see what I can do. You don't have to agree. You don't have to disagree. You don't have to cast judgment. There also may be someone in your life that you can't please them. Back when I used to be like an art director, there are clients with, it doesn't matter how many revisions you make, they're unhappy. So also at a certain point, say, we've done all we can do. This is the final product. You know, you can also have those boundaries and limits too, okay? Let me see what else is going on if you're an entrepreneur. Love this. You may have too many things that you're trying to do at once. Discernment is really important. I also feel like there may be a need to get more people to help. It feels top heavy. I feel like there's too many managers. There's not enough people to execute. So either the managers have to roll up their sleeves or you need more assistance. Okay. So a little bit of a human resource challenge as well as a communication opportunity. Okay. If you're looking for a job, King of Cups is pretty good. This also aligns to what we were talking about today for the daily card pull, which was give people, places, and opportunities room to see your value and worth. When you're no longer kind of pushing or wanting something as much, have you ever noticed how it just seems to happen? Whether you're auditioning for, a role in a movie, or you're interviewing for a job, or you're pitching a project or idea, if you can kind of psych yourself into the idea that I want it, but I don't need it, it makes you a little bit more desirable because there is a sense from the other side that they better do something. Someone else may snatch you up. So I want you to feel that sense that I need and want the best connection because I do see multiple opportunities here. You may not see all that you are desiring this week. Four of Swords can show that there's some waiting time. That doesn't mean that they're not interested. So give them time and keep planting other seeds of opportunity, okay? Let me take a drink here. I have some licorice root tea, which helps. Okay, that's better. What else? The other thing here is for any new opportunity that might be coming forth, I want you to pay attention to the morale, because King of Cups in reverse can be some heavy energy when it comes to how people are working together, how they feel, and really focus on the morale and make sure that this is a place that you want to be. So there's a reason that the Four of Swords is coming through. It may not be the first job. It may be the second or the third that you're interviewing for, or maybe the second or third opportunity that comes forth that is the best connection for you, okay? So it's okay if there's a little bit of crickets for a while. Eventually the right connection is coming forth. I would also encourage you to lean into your existing network. We have multiple people showing up. We have this bigger network here. It feels like it comes from word of mouth, okay? Focusing on students, Four of Pentacles. Okay, there's a lot. It feels like for some of you, you've spread yourself too thin, so it's really important in this moment to not have so many activities. And maybe, if you can, I mean, we're already in the semester, so I think this might be about mapping out the next path, making sure that you don't kind of load your roster so heavily. Thinking way back to when I was a student, there were semesters where if I had a really heavy class, I would make sure that that semester, maybe I would put an elective in there that was more fun. So if I had a heavy writing class or science class, then I would do something artistic, or one of the other ones that I knew I was going to have an easy time doing, so that there would be something to look forward to, so that there was more balance, because I feel like you might be pulled in too many directions. The other thing is, if you are giving to an activity, because I really do feel like this is almost like student life or student activities, and it's just not worth it anymore, it's time to say no. And if you're working as an intern, make sure that at the very least this is paid or credit earning. So I think we're finally at a point where we understand that interns bring value and we're not expecting them to work for free. But if that is happening, make sure you're getting enough out of this. And at the end of the day, if you're not getting paid, you don't have to work overtime. So make sure that you're not working yourself to exhaustion. That's something that I think back to a couple internships where it was just too much. They put too much on my plate. And it's like, you're not getting salary, you're not getting benefits. You're supposed to be supporting, but not taking the entire weight of their role, unless they're going to give you a bonus or something else, right? So know your limits and don't overextend. I think that's the main takeaway here. It's a great time to absorb things and try new things. I love the Ten of Pentacles coming through. This is showing a good network. Okay, let's move on to retirees. The universe works in strange ways. We have that fourth cup coming from an unexpected direction. Love, opportunity, something that you didn't expect. There are multiple opportunities knocking this month. And because you're retired, it's important to get out of your normal sort of routine and see what else is out there, okay? You guys are talking about the whispering. I'm so sorry. It's the best I can do. Also, there's a blessing in disguise, okay? So you may see like a lack of progress in one area and think, well, what can I do? It's really so that you can focus your energy into something else, okay? We must move on. Focusing on love now, we have the amethyst coming through Metamorphosis, which is connected to death and rebirth. It says, you are in a vortex of deep transformation. Surrender to the process that's unfolding. There's change going on beneath the surface. For some of you, the change is that something is just kind of unraveling. And it's hard sometimes, but typically when a relationship or an opportunity kind of comes to a close, it's been doing so for a long time. And I think for many of you, you're going to start to see, this has been happening for a minute or two. So know that it may feel like it's sudden, but it's been happening. Same thing when something goes deeper and all of a sudden it's like, when did I fall in love with this person? I guess I've been slowly falling in love for a while, right? We take another drink and then we're going to try our best to look at 3 categories. So for those of you that are currently in a relationship, we have a really great card here, the 10 of Cups. This is connected to existing people in your life already and going deeper. You might be also thinking of expanding your family. And whether or not you have a big group of friends, this is also encouraging you to get out there and mix and mingle a little bit. Sometimes we get into a rut when we're in a relationship. So this card is saying, you know, it's important, especially when you're coupled or partnered, to continue to have your own connections. So sometimes you can pull the partner into that mix. Sometimes you're going to be seeking out your own sort of new friends. Whatever it is, we're looking at expanding the network. And ultimately, this is a harmonious card. Let's look at where the challenges may exist in existing relationships. Four of Swords is about investment. So there might be one person that's putting a little bit more energy into the relationship right now. And so what we really want to look at is just back and forth a little bit, right? I could, by the way, I could put the microphone up, but I don't want, since I don't have my headphones on, I don't want to have like peaking volume. So yeah, I'll just get closer to the mic and try not to talk too loud. It feels like one of the other challenges is that there's a lot of things going on. Work, personal projects, maybe even other relationships. So making sure that you take time to slow down and spend time with one another, that is so important. Relationships or work, it shouldn't be a one-sided equation. It shouldn't feel like a job. Just make sure that both parties are putting in their part of it, and that should be okay. Okay? Different ways of communicating. The interesting thing with Queen of Cups and Queen of Wands is neither one is really saying it. They're showing it in different ways. So look at the love language in your relationship. The Queen of Wands comes forth and just does things. Fixes your favorite food, sets things up the way that you want, shows up at the right time. The Queen of Cups may just simply be there. It's the presence of being in your energy. So I'm getting love language being different, but being there. And if you need or want something a little bit different, make sure that you ask for what it is that you need or want. If you're looking for love this week, the Moon card, it's interesting because it shows that there's a little bit of internal healing that needs to be done first, particularly when it comes to fears and anxieties, but also with just honesty and integrity. I feel like some of you are still on the heels of a difficult breakup, or the last relationship lacked some of these qualities. Just know that history does not need to repeat itself. And so one of the things that you can put out there as a mantra is, I'm ready to receive honesty, integrity, and love in the highest forms. There could be a Cancer coming through this month, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, because we have the Moon. And I think what this is really encouraging you to say and do is, if there's something that you want or that you need, from the very beginning to kind of put it out there and say, this is my expectation. This makes me happy or this frustrates me, and stick to that. You have options. I mean, we have two of the elements coming through. So water and fire are definitely coming through. It's interesting that, though, when you look at like how those elements work together, water and fire, sometimes they have a tendency to extinguish one another. So make sure that there's compatibility in the areas that you really want them to be. There may be certain things that you want that your partner doesn't, and it's like that ends the deal. So really figure out what your priorities are and know that you have options. I think it's important this week to slow down and take care of yourself first and foremost. If you're single and happy, we have Page of Wands energy coming through, an opportunity for personal development, an opportunity for new ideas, new creativity to come forth. And with 3 aces and a High Priestess, you can have a very productive week. You can really go in any direction that you want. But taking an idea to the next level is what we're seeing here for you. Okay. Second to the last card here, thank goodness. We have Mott coming through here with Divine Intervention. So we're looking now at the Destiny card, and it's saying, weigh your options. Choose the highest good. We did, for the air signs, I believe, get the Justice card. So this is absolutely connected to that. But for everyone else, it's like we got a universal justice card. Ask yourself, is this right for me? Is this what I want? And then decide, I choose this. It's really important to make the decision. Remember, at the end of the day, you and you alone can choose. Again, it's so much easier for someone else to make the decision, but it's so much more powerful if you can do it. The divine intervention piece is really powerful. Meditation is not to be underestimated this week. When you meditate, of course, we're going to focus on opening up to receive more. But another thing is letting go of things. So I've talked about this in the past. Releasing pain as a teacher. I no longer need this lesson. Thank you, universe. Please release it. Please give me an upgrade. You can also ask for something to be clear beyond a shadow of a doubt. Make this incontrovertibly clear so that I have no doubt, no hesitation. This is what I must do. Ask for that clarity. Show me the path without a shadow of doubt. And then choose your path as well. Once you have the clarity, believe in yourself and make that choice. Okay, we're going to meditate. I'm going to turn off my AC, my air conditioner, so I don't have to speak so loud. But while we do this, before we do it, take a moment and please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, take a moment, please. Close your eyes. I'd like you to imagine that you are at the beach. Imagine that you're laying down on the sand. It's been heated up by the warm sun. It's almost like you have a heating blanket that you could wrap around you. And as you sink into the supportive energy of the sand, feel that in this moment in time, that the universe has your back, that things can be easy. If there's anyone or if there's anything that's weighing heavily upon your shoulders, let it go. Let the sand absorb it. And like a sieve, let it go away and leave you completely whole, unencumbered by fear, anxiety, or doubt, and able now to, kind of like a battery, fuel the next part of your journey. Focus on the golden color of the sand. Allow this to connect with the solar plexus, and imagine that you're connecting with the sun, which is shining directly above. Whatever is lacking in your life, let the sun come through your solar plexus and imagine that it can also point to the lack in your life and fill it up with golden light. You are not the battery. You do not need to be the source for everyone and everything. Allow your energy to recalibrate. Feel this golden energy in your auric field, protecting you, guiding you, and allowing you to receive more than you think you're worth. It's the big takeaway this week, folks, is that you can receive even more than you imagine. We got 3 aces, and one of them repeated. So I really do feel like this is a week of opportunities. The biggest lack and the biggest challenge is often in our own ability to see what's possible. So don't sell yourself short. See your worth and advocate for your worth. And feel the support of the earth beneath you when you make your decision to move forward and to speak and to advocate for whatever it is that you want and need. Okay, gently open your eyes. If there's one last card, one last question that you'd like me to look into, this is the time to ask. Really positive energy coming forth. If you asked a yes or a no, the Page of Cups is yes. But in a more nuanced message, the Page of Cups reminds you rather that this is a time to put yourself out there. Creatively, show people what you have to bring. Energetically, be a little bit less guarded, a little bit more playful. Do things in your life that bring about an energy of camaraderie and fun, creativity, and know that this is a time to really go with the flow the intuitive flow, the energetic flow. If you're looking for love, this is a very positive and affirmative card. And generally speaking, this portends happier or better days ahead, even if they're not here and right now. One last time, slow down. There's more that wants to come through than you may realize, but only when you slow down can you see that. Work smarter, not harder. There's duplicative energy going on in the environment right now. Change begins one step at a time. You don't have to do it all at once. To that end, lean on the existing network or find a network, because there's a lot of resources opening up. Call and answer energy coming through with the 2 swords in the village. I think you have a good chance of getting what you want this week, but it does require speaking up. Ask for help if you need it. Overall, it's a good week. We don't have a lot of troubling cards. In fact, I think this is one of the few weeks where I've seen 3 aces. There's been one reading in 10 years where I think all 4 came through, but getting 3 is pretty good. So discernment and clarity and focusing on self-worth are going to be really important. Okay? All right. Let's take a couple moments here to extend some gratitude. First of all, thank you for being patient and putting up with my quiet voice today. I did find a way to pace myself and make it to the end. Thank goodness, right? The guides came through and helped me find the voice, even if it is a little bit softer. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate you. If you'd like to follow me on social media, you can do it on all major platforms at Nicholas Ashbaugh. I'm also on Blue Sky at nicholasashbaugh.com. If you'd like to give some love and support in the form of a super sticker or super chat or a membership, thank you. Thank you, by the way, for the support on the podcast. I'm super thrilled that we've reached over 31,000 views on the last podcast. That more than doubled what the original one got. Let's continue to share it with other people and get it higher. That allows me to do more podcasts like that in the future. So thank you. Let's keep the number growing. Also, if you would like to find out more about me, you can always go to my website. It's nicholasashbaugh.com. I think we've talked about everything, so thank you. Apollo's no longer behind me. I'll pull him up at the end. I'd like to take a couple moments here to extend gratitude to those of you that gave back today. So let's begin with members. All right. Let me refresh it because I don't see all the members here. All right. Welcome back or welcome to the following members. Here we go. Okay. So it's Giving Mother. That's a great name. Claudia, Kim Priestess, Erica, Val, Kathy, Elaine, Christy, Jeanette, Suzanne, Leah, White Buffalo, Janine. Having some issues in this not refreshing here. Paula, and I think I got everybody. Actually, there's some more here. Okay, I'm going to have to do it in the other view because it keeps refreshing, so let me do that. All right, so I will continue to do that as I'm looking at fan funding, as well as call out some people that have had some anniversaries. Okay, there may be some repeats, so apologies. So again, thank you, Suzanne. Schoolhouse Intuitive, thank you for gifting a membership. Mindful Steps, thank you for gifting one. Colette, thank you for 5 memberships. You're amazing. Deborah, thank you for gifting a membership. I think that was everyone there. Let me try one more time. It keeps refreshing as I'm trying to view it, and I may just have to let Dakota say welcome to all the new members. I just can't see it for some reason. Paula, Janine, we'll let it go. Just know that I do see you, and I will see you when I do the replay. So welcome to all of the new members, and thank you, Dakota, for calling them out. And now for super stickers and super chat, let's take a look here. All right, so for super stickers and super chat, thank you to the following: Phoebe, Anne, Watergirl, Allison, Monica, Jeannie, Jackie, Mindful Steps, Astro Tarot, Charlie, Raven, Cindy, and I think I got everybody. Again, I know I missed a couple of the members, but my voice is giving out, and there continues to be a refresh here, so I'm just going to let it go. All right, everybody, wishing you so much love and light, wishing everybody health and happiness, and hopefully my voice comes back soon because I have a bunch of videos to catch up on. I'm just going to rest today and maybe see the doctor tomorrow. All right, see all of you soon. Thank you very much for your love and support. Thank you again, Dakota, for your help in moderating today. I'll see you soon. All right, let me see if I can bring Apollo up for the end. All right, everybody. Lots of love and light. Thank you very much. And sending hugs from Apollo and from me. Take care.